Hello everybody, welcome back to 10 Minute Reviews. That crazy one was Freya. I'm Jason, bringing you today's episode. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons, folks. We have a ton of videos coming out. We're always talking about books. This is what we do, is our family channel. So we really appreciate the support. And if you're looking for new things to read, this is definitely the channel for you. As always, I'm going to talk about 4 things today. I'm going to talk about the world, I'm going to talk about the characters, I'm going to talk about the plot, and I'm going to talk about the writing style. So which book am I talking about today? I'm talking about We Don't Wear Capes by Joshua Guest. Now, I've talked about him in the past with his next series that had two books in it, superhero type novel, and We Don't Wear Capes obviously is also a superhero type of novel. Definitely seems to be the genre he likes to write in. So the world is basically a modern times type of world. Obviously we've got superpowers in it, superheroes, supervillains, these legendary characters or legendary people, especially on the villain side of things. As far as the characters go, it's a little bit difficult to tell you a main character. It's a group, really. It's just a group of characters. And when I say characters, they're also just straight up characters. So we've got a group of basically lesser tiered superheroes. So I'm going to cross a little bit now into the plot of the book, basically. So within this world, they have their superpowers, of course, and they're superheroes, but the biggest thing is they have 5 extraordinarily, almost god-level powered supervillains. So incredibly powerful that nobody has ever been able to stop them. Nobody has ever been able to defeat them, and they tend to work together. And again, nobody's been able to beat them. They cannot be beaten. They think in this book, at one point in this book, they believe one of them was killed, although that does end up turning out not to be the case. So this book is like a lot of the more recent superhero books where it deals with like an academy. This is more of a police academy type thing than like a college. Like a lot of them are like superhero colleges almost, or superhero high schools. This one is more like a police academy. And typically, in order to make it to this academy, to be accepted into this program, they have to be on the higher tier level. Of course, they've got their rating systems for superpowers and for superpowered people, kind of a power level type of thing. And this time around, they decided to do something experimental. So these characters are experimental characters, which kind of reminds you of Drew Hayes' Superpowers, which was also experimental, but in a different way. And Joshua Guest also writes some pretty interesting and pretty cool little powers. But what they have is they take a group of lower tiered characters. Their thinking is, well, we always take the powerhouses. We always take the ones that have the highest ratings, which tend to be the classic powers, the powers we know: super strength, super speed, flight, laser vision, all the classic kind of stuff that we tend to look at as great combat or great overwhelming power. And this time around, because that has always failed, they decide we're going to take a group of very eclectic, very oddball, very weird people and very weird powers, and that we think has some potential, and we're going to throw them together, train them up, and then see if maybe they can do what nobody else has been able to do. They're going to look weaker, they're going to appear weaker, but possibly they'll be able to pull off things that nobody else can. Now, some interesting things within this book. One thing that it has that's interesting that no other superpowers or superhero book I've come across has is they have this concept of synergy almost, where 2 superpowered characters, if they are close enough, friendly enough, in sync enough, work together long enough, they can almost, I think they call it resonance, where their superpowers can almost sync with each other and make each other stronger, make their power stronger. It doesn't mean that they can borrow powers off each other or anything like that, or that they have some synergistic power between the two of them. No Wonder Twins activate or any of that kind of crap. But you've got your super strength guy and say your teleporter, and if they can develop resonance between them, the super strength guy he gets stronger. And the teleporter can just teleport further or faster or more times or whatever the weaknesses are within this power. But this time they have people with very, very eclectic powers, and I'm not going to get into every single one of them, but just to give you an idea, two of them are pretty clever. One just has this little black ball that he can control. Real tiny. He can control it, make it move around, zip around, and it's pretty strong. It's basically like a bullet in a lot of ways. So he uses it to do things like cutting and drilling and stuff like that. But used the right way, he can also use it to maybe help himself float or fly, things along those lines. And another one of them, another one of the characters is actually older, someone that's in their 70s, 80s, but was a healer, basically de-aged them, brought them back down to a more youthful level. And this person has been brought onto this team because they follow the revenge trope. They kind of they have issues with the supervillains, and they want to get them back. But their power is very, very interesting in that what they are able to do within line of sight, they are able to project anything that they have ever felt. They can make the other person feel anything that they have ever felt. But what's fascinating about this character is that they are rich. They are very rich, and they spent a lot of their money on healers so that they could build up this backlog of experiences that they can put on other people. So, as a combat power goes, it's actually not that bad. Because it's not one of those, one and done kind of things. There's a character similar to that in superpowers where by touch they can project an injury onto somebody else, but only once. Then that injury's gone out of their repertoire. And this person, once they have an experience, so and think about the kind of mindset of this kind of that requires this person basically once set themselves on fire, and then of course had themselves healed. But now they are able to make just about anybody feel like they are on fire, and they just have this huge catalog of things, of feelings they can project onto somebody else. They even defeat one superpowered person by actually making them just have a massive orgasm. They can project the feeling of broken bones, of being blinded because they had themselves blinded once and then healed. Just about everything. So, it's a group of really, really eclectic powers. It was an excellent book as far as the writing style goes. The characters are all a little bit different. Definitely, again, eclectic. The super genius is both the super genius and probably somewhere on the spectrum. It has difficulties with people, but also possibly because they're so analytical about things. And then you've got your, the super rich one used to be an actress. That's where they got their money. So they're fairly well known. They're fairly famous. And the writing style, it's gripping, it's entertaining, it holds you in, especially the way they go through their trials and tribulations. It's not one of those super snarky, super sarcastic. Of course, there's your snarky characters, there's your sarcastic character, you've got your moody, emo type character. So Joshua Guest is able to write a lot of different characters within a lot of different writing styles, or within a lot of different personalities. And his style itself is just entertaining. It's just entertaining. His books are just fun. They're fun. They're entertaining. They're a blast to read. And you guys got to check it out. If you like superhero type books, but not the campy usual, the super paladin basically, you got to check out We Don't Wear Capes by Joshua Guest. Absolutely fantastic book. After you hit the like and subscribe buttons, go check it out. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We will catch you next time. Bye now.